Chair, please.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. And can I also ask IT to confirm that we have begun live streaming? Yeah, okay, thank you. Agenda item 2, declarations of interest. Are there any declarations at the moment, or do members want to take them as we go along? Councillor Savage.
Thank you, Chair. Item 7.1, just to declare an interest as I work for the Department's Housing Division, and best wishes for the year ahead, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that, Councillor Savage. Moving on then to agenda item 3, business plans, and they're in the circulated report. Sharon McNichol will present this report, and the first one is 3.1, an information item. Sharon.
Thank you, Chair. Members, this is an item for information. It's the annual progress reports on the departmental business plans that were based on the previous council structure, the year 21-22. There's a fairly comprehensive appendix attached to the document which sets out how things have progressed over the past year, and you'll see there's been quite a lot of activity right across the piece, across all departments. Listed in the report are the departments involved, and officers are here and happy to take any questions that members have, conscious that there's quite a lot of information in the appendix. If there's anything that any member wants to pick up with any officer after this meeting, we're content to do that as well. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. There are no lights on, so we'll move on to agenda item 4, a report from the Head of Strategy and Performance. Martina McNulty will present this report, and it's 4.1 first, Martina.
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, members. The first item here, 4.1, is an information and decision item, actually. It contains the annual progress report on our customer care action plan for last year, 21-22, and then a draft customer care action plan for 22-23. I'm not really going to take members through the previous report because it's for information, and if members have any questions, very happy to take those. But the decision item is to approve the draft customer care action plan for 22-23. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Martina. No lights on. Do we have a proposer and a seconder, please? Okay, proposed Councillor Flaherty and seconded by Alderman Rankin and agreed. Thank you. Moving on to 4.2, Martina again.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, this is our draft performance improvement plan for 22-23, asking for members' approval. You will recall, members, that we have consulted on a number of performance improvement objectives earlier in the year, and at Appendix 2 it contains the consultation report, which has been taken into consideration and included within the draft plan for the year. Also there attached is correspondence from the Department of Communities in relation to some of the statutory requirements around the economic development statutory indicator for your information. Again, happy to take any questions, members, and would seek approval for the draft plan for 22-23. Thank you.
Thank you, Martina. I'm seeing no lights, so on that basis, is there someone who would propose? Thank you. Proposed by Councillor Kevin Savage, seconded by Alderman Rankin and agreed. Thank you. 4.3 is an information item. So unless anyone has a question, I'm minded to move on. Okay. Agenda item 5 is the report from the Head of Community Planning, Policy and Research. Elaine Gillespie will present this report. Decision items. The first one is 5.1. Elaine.
Thank you, Chair, and evening members. The Department of Health is now consulting on its review of urgent and emergency care, and this closes on the 15th of June. The paper includes a summary of the consultation, and the Health Working Group met in May and went through this and had input into the draft response. The draft response is attached to the report, and it's recommended that members approve this corporate response for submission. Happy to take any questions, Chair. Thank you.
Am I good to go? No questions, Elaine. You'll be glad. You'll be glad I have no questions for you, because I have to say I attended the workshop that you held on this on the 18th of May, and it was very, very useful and very helpful. And thank you to Jenny there, Searson. She's probably on somewhere. She put a lot of effort and work into preparing that meeting. And those of us who did attend, I think all got something out of it and were able to even to submit our own. So I'm more than happy to propose this, Chair. This is a very important consultation. And I'm delighted that we've got such a robust response. Thank you, Elaine. And Tim.
Thank you. I want to bring in Councillor Larkham.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I'd like to concur with the comments of the previous speaker. And I want to thank the staff and officers for this report. Happy to second the proposal.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Larkham. So proposed, seconded and agreed. We move on then to 5.2, place plan process.
Yes. Good evening. Thank you, Chair. This report is a decision item under 5.2, place plan process. Members will be aware that the Community Planning Partnership successfully developed the first pilot place plan for Armagh. The Armagh place plan was launched on the 19th of May. The report tonight outlines the role and aims of a place shaping with community planning, improving economic and social and environmental well-being of the place, whilst ensuring the aspirations of community plans are realised at the local level. Our community planning partners back in March agreed to look to the future and roll out further place plans across the borough. And as the lead partner, Council have been actively engaging with our community planning partners and have agreed a place plan delivery timeline as outlined in the report. It is proposed that the next place plans to be developed in 22 are Banbridge and Dromore, and we'll pick up the other towns, Portadown, Lurgan and Craigavon collectively in 2023. And we propose that these will be delivered by one contractor and providing economies of scale on a phased approach. We propose to use council funds, which is in the budget allocations, to commence phase 1 Banbridge in this summer of 22. And we are engaging with other partners such as the Department for Communities and Heritage stakeholders for potential match funding for phase 2 Dromore. And we anticipate that this funding will become available in the autumn of 22. In addition, community planning team are working with Queen's School of Natural and Built Environment. We have a master's student who is currently undertaking desktop and discovery research of both Banbridge and Dromore town centres. And the opportunity with Queen's has enabled the department to progress our place plans prior to any tendering and to establish where we are as a place. Based on this report and overview, therefore, it was recommended that members agree to procure a delivery agent to develop both Banbridge and Dromore place plans on a phased approach as agreed with the Community Plan and Partnership. I'm happy for any questions.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. I'm not aware of any questions in that event. Is there someone to propose and second, please? Proposed by Alderman Rankin, seconded by Councillor Kevin Savage. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on then to 5.3, consultation documents from external organisations. Elaine.
Thank you, Chair and members. This is our regular monthly external consultation schedule. The schedule was attached to the report as Appendix 1, and I'm seeking approval from this tonight for members. Thank you.
Thank you. And there are no questions indicated, so if we can have a proposer and seconder. Proposed by Councillor or by Alderman Rankin, seconded by Councillor Kevin Savage, and agreed. Thank you. 5.4 community planning update, and this is from Jenny MacDonald.
Thank you, Chair. This report gives an update on community planning and the activities of the partnership. So the next Community Plan and Strategic Partnership meeting is on the 23rd of June, and the papers will be sent to all members of this committee in advance of the meeting. And if members have any issues or any comments on the papers, they can be raised with the 5 elected member reps from this committee. And following the recent AGM, those reps have been confirmed then for the next year. There's also an update in the report on the Community and Voluntary Sector Panel's action plan. So they launched their action plan last month in Craigavon. They had a really good turnout at the event and really positive feedback on their plan. There's a short video on the launch, which gives an overview of the plan, and it gives you a flavour of the event, and there's a link to that in the papers tonight. So the main detail in the report is around participatory budgeting. So following the Community Plan and Partnership's first successful project, Take £500, back in 2020, 2021, the partnership has agreed in principle to run an annual PB grants process and to also explore options for mainstreaming participatory budgeting. So there's a PB working group in the partnership, and they're currently working away planning for the next grants process to launch this September. So there's a bit of detail in the report then about some of the decisions that they've made to date. Really, this is about empowering citizens and communities to make decisions and to act in the interests of everyone in the borough, and to support a sense of ownership for investment from the partnership. It's to better meet needs as defined by the local community. And it's also very effective, we found out last time, in promoting the Take 5 public health message, which is very, very timely and promotes innovation. We saw plenty of innovation and partnership working in the last project. So this time there's a preference for face-to-face in-room events. Last time we were completely online due to the pandemic, and to take a locality approach with processes running in Armagh, Banbridge and Craigavon. So there'll be a series of launch events, a series of voting events, and then a series of celebration events. The group has also recommended to increase the amount that groups can bid for from £500 to £1,000, given the recent increase in costs of a lot of things. And that would really put the required total funding pot up to about £90,000. So we're currently working with partners at the moment to try and secure their contributions to the project. And it's just to note then that if we are unable to secure that funding pool, we may need to change the plan slightly, but we'll bring further updates back to the committee. So there is a recommendation there, really, that the community planning team continue to lead on that PB process with community planning partners, and that we proceed with costs for promotion and the events in line with our agreed budgets and business plan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. I want to bring in Councillor Flaherty.
There we go. Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you, Jenny, for that. I always have had a great interest in community planning from I came under council, so and I'm glad to see these reports keep coming through. I sort of missed the partnership a wee bit, Elaine, have to be honest. I'm maybe the only one ever will say that. But Chair, I will propose this recommendation, but just if you'll allow me, I just want to say thank you to the team. I attended with a few colleagues the launch of the Community and Voluntary Sector panel report, and it was a marvellous evening. It was a really marvellous evening here in the Civic Centre. One of the biggest crowds I think I've seen, well, probably in a long time, but at a community planning event. There was a lot of work put in the background by the chair. I know that, we all know that. And the stops were pulled out. They were particularly glad to see our director, Sharon McNichol. They were very pleased that you were there to represent the senior management team. And you spoke very well, and we were very proud that you were there. They really were very proud you were there, so thank you for that. Regarding the participatory budget, that was a very successful scheme. And even though it was online, it really didn't matter at the time because everybody was so enthusiastic for it. The videos were fantastic. So to see that coming ahead, I think is a really good thing. It sets a really good standard for groups, and it gives them something to work towards and something to plan for, which I think helps them to build a bit of momentum course, I'm sure they'll be delighted with some extra money. So good luck in your endeavours with that. So, Chair, happy to support this recommendation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Flaherty. It's proposed by Councillor Flaherty and seconded by Alderman Rankin. Thank you. Moving on then to agenda item 6, which is a report from the Strategic Director of Strategy and Performance, Sharon McNichol. Sharon, 6.1, Scheme of Delegation.
Thank you, Chair. I'm actually going to pass to Kate McCusker, our Senior Solicitor, to take this item, if that's okay.
Good evening, members. Good evening, Chair. Apologies, my camera's taken a while to come on. The report tonight is in respect of the required amendments to the scheme of delegation and also Part 7 of the Constitution, which sets out the Council's management structure. The scheme of delegation was last revised in December 2020, and since then the Council's senior management team structure has undergone a number of changes, with some titles and responsibilities changing and some roles added to the structure, such as the role of Deputy Chief Exec. The amendments carried out to the scheme simply reflect the new management structure of the Council, and the appendices to the report contain the revised scheme of delegation and Part 7 of the Constitution. Please note that no changes have been made to the allocation of powers and responsibilities between members and officers, and members are asked to approve the proposed amendments to the scheme of delegation and Part 7 of the Constitution, and to authorise me as the Senior Solicitor to make the necessary consequential changes to references to officer roles appearing elsewhere in the Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate, and apologies for overlooking your role there. There are no lights on, so can we have a proposer and seconder, please? Proposed by Alderman Rankin and seconded by Councillor Kevin Savage, and agreed. Thank you. Moving on then, agenda item 7 is correspondence. I'm going to call Elaine Gillespie to present the first item, 7.1.
Thank you, Chair. This is a response from David Poley, Director of Housing Supply Policy, and it was in response to a letter that this committee sent about a month ago, Chair, so it's there for information. Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. 7.2, I want to bring in Martina McNulty to present this item.
Thank you, Chair. Again, this is for members' information. It's just really to advise in the details within the letter that regionally NIPSO are working with local government now. After their consultation that took place last year, they've decided now to progress with trying to develop model complaint handling procedures right across the public sector, but sector specific. So they're starting to work with local government, and there's detail within the letter in relation to how that's going to progress. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you for that, Martina. Okay, can I ask for a proposer and seconder to go into committee for consideration of confidential items of business? All right. Proposed by Councillor Kevin Savage, seconded by Alderman Rankin, and agreed. Members and online viewers, in accordance with Schedule 6 of the Local Government Act, exempt information, we will now be moving into a confidential session of council. This means that we will be turning off the public feed of the meeting, and this will be returned on when the meeting is restarted. Can I ask ICT officers to please turn off the feed and confirm with me when the confidential section of this meeting can proceed? open session. Thank you. Any other relevant business? Members, I have no other relevant business. So that brings the meeting to a close. Can I wish you all a pleasant evening and thank you for your patience on my first night. Thank you.